Somebody's gonna get the ass kicked. Somebody's gonna get their wig split. What? Somebody's gonna get the ass kicked. Somebody's gonna get their wig split. What? Mark Henry made the news this week talking about, guess who? CM Punk. Talking about the whole brawl out situation. Still heavy in the news. We've covered it to death on this show even. Today, Kenny Omega talked about it this week on a podcast. Britt Baker talked about it this week on a blah, blah, blah. And then even the boys over at Busted Open talked about it. They did a whole masterclass on it this past Sunday, as a matter of fact. Every week they have a masterclass recorded where Bubba, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry, and Dave LaGreca all sit down for about a half hour, nothing crazy. And they just kind of talk about something related to the world of professional wrestling, and they do a deep dive into it, a master's class from the point of view of the guys who are all legends in the business at this point. In this past week, they did a master's class on CM Punk and should he be brought back to AEW. And Mark Henry famously made the rounds this week for his thoughts on the topic, where he said that Punk is not a cancer. And we're going to play that clip here, but there's more to it. We're going to start with the masterclass from Sunday on Busted Open, where we hear from Dave LaGreca, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry, and Bully Ray on whether or not they think CM Punk should be brought back to AEW and why. And then we'll take a listen to Mark Henry further elaborating on it the next day, where he says that he does not think that CM Punk's a cancer, and he explains why. Check out these clips.
Should CM Punk be back on AEW television?
Yes. And if I was in charge, I would bring him back, and I would bring him back with him saying to the wrestling world, not an apology, but to state the facts. Grown men will disagree, and things will be said that probably shouldn't have been said. And I regret airing my dirty laundry in front of the world. Won't happen again. Do we agree on everything? No. Can we work together and exist and have a business relationship? Yes. I will not let my personal feelings, my personal gripes and concerns interfere with business again, because ultimately the important thing is business, and I am the business, and business is good.
Exactly what Mark said. And another big part of whatever statement when he does come back has to be to the fans. If you will accept me, if you want me back, I'm here. Because, hey, I understand it. Like, you may not want me back.
What if his side of the story is legitimate and it's the other guys that caused the problems? Do they owe the fans an apology?
You know what? That's a great point.
Already, yes, it is, but they're already back.
So, Tommy, yes or no? You bringing him back?
Me personally, yes, because I also like the guy.
Okay,
so it's two yes.
And I also think, I think he helps my company.
So Bully, I vote yes for Punk to come back. Mark says yes. Tommy says yes. The floor is yours.
I think you already know my answer, because much like Mark highlighted the word business, that is the only mode I think in when it comes to professional wrestling is business. Can we make money with someone? Can we make money with an idea? And if there's animosity in the locker room between guys, that's even better, because we could probably generate even more money with it.
There you go.
I don't give a fuck who likes me, who doesn't like me, who respects me, blah, blah, blah. This is sports entertainment, and you ain't going to be at my fucking funeral, so I don't care. But if we can make money together, that's a different story.
Not to give anything away from the master's class, but you definitely, it's a must listen because you go off, Bully goes off, Tommy goes off. My opinion, I never really broke down like what I wanted to say about it because it was the master's class is about you guys. But
Well,
like,
break it down.
well, I mean, I'll break it down. Like, I want CM Punk back. I want CM Punk back. Like,
Why?
I want because I love CM Punk. I love him in the ring. I love him on the microphone. Like, you know, and everybody, and I'm sure the naysayers are going to say, well, he's a cancer in the locker room. You don't know that. You're not in the locker room.
He's not.
Okay, so there you go. You're somebody
I'ma
that's
say it.
there.
I don't think he is either. I think it's all bullshit. I really do. I think there are factions within AEW, and that's what it is. Because there are plenty of people that have come out and said that Punk has been nothing but gracious and helpful and wonderful to them. Dax is damn near best friends with the guy, right? He's been hanging out with FTR, with those boys. Wardlow has had nice things to say about him. Fucking Will Hobbs has had nice things to say about CM Punk. Ricky Starks has had nice things. Jade Cargill, I covered that on this show, has had wonderful things to say about CM Punk. And, you know, he bought, you know, there's the stories that he bought everybody in the locker room, fucking in the women's locker room, coffee, Starbucks gift cards. Like big baller ones too, with a lot, you know, like a lot of money on each one. Like, Punk just seems like a guy that's not going to take any bullshit from anybody. He's going to speak his mind, and he's kind of a grumpy, curmudgeon, irritable fuck to begin with. He's a miserable prick. Hey, fine, lots of people are miserable pricks. I believe this or not. I know, it's weird. But maybe if you ask like an ex-wife or two, I may be described as a miserable prick from time to time. So I get it. I understand. And this is partially why CM Punk has been one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Actually is my favorite. He's my guy. For better or worse. You know what I mean? Even if I've fallen out of love with him a little bit over this whole thing. Punk's my dude, right? I relate to him most, and he speaks his mind, and he's not afraid to. And I'm not to say that's not to say he's in the right or that he should speak his mind. I think he's brash and he's a prick, and he doesn't. He's got a sting sometimes when he speaks. You know, they say that about I'm a Scorpio, for example, and that's one of the things, like, their stingers hurt. You know what I mean? Like, Scorpios are famous for brutal truths and just kind of laying it in where, like, oof, that was a little bit harsh. That one stung a little bit. That's Punk will do that to you. You know, he's got that kind of energy to him as well. But I think that's if you cross him, you know, and we know that the Young Bucks, they're a little clicky fucking, we hear it from Dax and stuff too. Regardless of, you know, maybe, you know, I even said a couple weeks ago that I think, you know, after listening to Dax, I think he takes himself a little too seriously. He's getting in all these little beefs and getting upset with people over things. And I think it's because he's too passionate. He's too serious. And so maybe the FTR and Punk are outliers. Maybe that's why FTR might not be coming back to AEW. You know, maybe that's why Tony Khan didn't invite them back to finish out their contract. Like Taxa said, hey, we let Tony know we're willing to come back and work till our contract's up, or you know, if we can work something out. And he said he hasn't heard from him yet. I don't know if Punk's coming back, but you heard it from all the guys there. They all think he should, based on business. And I'm going to try to make this a little bit different from the Kenny Omega clip, because Kenny Omega, I did cover this brawl out situation from a different angle earlier from both. I did a clip. Britt Baker was talking about the subject. Kenny Omega was talking about this. It's still such a huge issue. I think the ideal position here is if you can figure out a way, and they don't gotta like each other, they don't gotta get along, they don't gotta be friends, but if you can figure out a way to get CM. They don't even got to apologize. Because CM Punk and FTR together on their side, and then you get the Elite over on their side, and you just fucking the Elite versus CM FTR. 6-man's one-on-one mixes leading to the big pay-per-view, the big blow-off for both of them. Long-term story, 6 months, leading to FTR versus Young Bucks 3, the rubber match, and CM Punk versus Kenny Omega one-on-one. I think it'd be brilliant. I think it would draw a lot of money. I don't know that it'll happen because of egos and politics and that sort of thing. People got their cliques backstage. The Young Bucks are their own separate clique, you know, and then there's guys that are probably just lone wolves and stuff. You know, Britt kind of seemed like she's with the originals. Like she was on the side of the Elite, basically, even though she seemed to, you know, be friendly with Punk. And I know Punk was a particular fan of Britt Baker, put her over in his first promo there. Punk's a very divisive guy. He always has been. Very unliked in a lot of ways. But look, being unliked doesn't mean you can't draw money in the business. Ultimate Warrior was not very well liked, and he is to this day one of the biggest names in the history of life. You know? You ask anybody on the street to name 5-10 wrestlers, I'll bet you Ultimate Warrior's name comes up 80 out of 100 times at least. You know? He's a legend. Also a piece of shit that nobody liked. So CM Punk at least has some friends in the business. But it's a mess. The boys are busted open. Mark Henry. Support. Mark Henry says he's not. That's another one now. He's saying good things, and he's echoing what some of these other guys. He's seen him working with people. Punk's not an egomaniac back there. He's not, oh, lace my boots, and why are you wasting my time, and fuck you, do you know who I am? Punk's out there. He's helping the young guys. He's requesting to work with the young guys, and he's talking with them, and he's hanging out with them, and he's buying them Starbucks and supporting them and encouraging them, and Punk's a good dude. You just don't fuck with him. And somewhere along the way backstage, as EVPs, the Elite were probably rubbed Punk the wrong way to make him think these guys are a bunch of fucking morons that couldn't even manage a target. And they're sitting here trying to tell me, fuck you. That's CM Punk. That's how he is. You can design your locker room to not have people like that, which is one way to do it. Absolutely. And, you know, Tony Khan, it's been said that he likes to design his locker room to be a team. Jake Hager said that. You know, he wants people that are going to get along, that are going to be a team. He runs his company like a team because he comes from a sports background. He's a sports ball guy. But there's egos and attitudes and clashes of wrestling is very much an individual sport as much as you can try to make it a team sport. You know, AEW is a team, yay. Might have all been like that. But at some point, you're going to start bringing people in that are like, I'm just here to get a fucking paycheck and make myself a bigger star. And Punk's not even taking that attitude, you know. That's how, remember Bryan Danielson came in and he was like, I'm going to be the opposite of Punk. I'm going to kick all these guys' heads in and I'm going to just I'm here to beat the shit out of people. I don't want to help anybody. I don't want to bring anybody up. I just want to beat the shit out of people. Of course, Bryan is also helping people out backstage, famously working with Jade Cargill. I'm sure many other people, but I don't think Punk's a bad guy. I think he just, you know, there's a clash of personalities there, especially because the Elite are friends with Colt Cabana. Close friends with Colt Cabana, as a matter of fact. The Young Bucks were so successful on the independents because they sat under the learning tree of Colt Cabana of how to do merchandise and he had a podcast, they did a fucking YouTube show. You know what I mean? So they learned from Colt. They're tight with Colt. Punk, not so much. Colt's probably going to say bad things about Punk to them behind closed doors, and they're going to have an opinion about him already when he comes in. And that's going to create problems when they're trying to do business backstage. Tony Khan probably doesn't know what the fuck to do. He started this company with these guys, the Elite. He handpicked them from the indies, knowing that they were the biggest stars on the indies and that they were essential to starting a brand new company, giving it its own unique look and feel with guys that have never been to the WWE. It was a brilliant move at the time. But CM Punk was always the biggest free agent out there, wasn't he? You can look at it in hindsight now. You can sit back and be like, oh, CM Punk, fuck that guy. Fuck you. When he was sitting on the shelf for 7 years and saying, I'm never coming back. Never. Remember, he said those exact words in a promo. He was being ridiculous, but he said it that exact way. But he came back. He was that biggest fish, that fucking whale out there, just fucking the Moby Dick of pro wrestling. Tony went out and got him, and that changed the business instantly. And you can't argue with that. You're a fucking moron if you're going to sit there and say, oh, Punk wasn't really a draw. Yeah, he actually was. While he was there was the time that AEW was, they were always up at 1 million or more with CM Punk. I'm sure they dipped under a little bit here and there, but that was the 1 million viewer run, was when Punk was there. Pay-per-view draws sold the most pay-per-views. Fucking merchandise sold the most merchandise. You know, ticket sales, house fucking pop the house. Yeah. God damn. Sold out the fucking United Center without even mentioning his name. You just got to put the vibe out there. Remember this guy? That guy he's from your city? Sell that bitch right out. All you got to do is say best in the world on TV and fucking sold 16,000 tickets. Boom. Done. Punk's a big star. He's a massive. And if he were to come back from this, people are watching. People are goddamn watching. Say what you want about Punk. You're going to tune in because you're going to want to know what's he got to say about this. How's that going to work out? And then when you hear that the Young Bucks came out and interrupted him, or Kenny Omega, or he came out and interrupted the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and is leaning that way, you're going to buy those pay-per-views. You know, they do them like every 4 months, right? So you do a build to a 6-man, FTR and CM Punk versus the Elite. And then you build to the next pay-per-view from there to do the Elite versus FTR. Or, you know, the Bucks versus FTR and Punk versus Omega. Fucking just print the money. You're buying that pay-per-view. You know you're buying that pay-per-view. The realism, the promos, the hype, the what the fuck is going to happen here? Who's going to say something off the cuff that they weren't supposed to say and really get hot? Are they going to throw some real fists in this match? You're in. Money printed. I hope it works out that way. I really do. But I don't know that it can. I don't know if the egos will let it. It's done significant damage to AEW, and if the locker room was anything like Kenny Omega hinted at, you know, the pizza guy walking into the burning building, that's a hell of a way to describe the AEW locker room atmosphere under CM Punk. And to say that it's kind of gone back to normal now that he's been gone. But then you got a Mark Henry saying he's not a locker room cancer. He's out there helping guys. Sounds like it's a clash of egos and personalities and cliques. Welcome to the world of professional wrestling, my friends. It was never going to stay just the Elite's clique forever. AEW started that way. But it's not. You can't stay that way. Guys are going to come in. Guys are going to go out. And they're not all going to be the Elite's friends. And now the Elite's just pissy because that's how it's looking. You know what I mean? They got a lot of their power taken away from Tony when he took over the reins of the booking, which is, you know, Booker of the Year. You know what I mean? It hasn't worked out too well since, but remember, they had some more significant control in that whole Dark Order beatdown that ended Dynamite that got really low ratings. Tony Khan took it back after that. Now, a lot of these guys say they're just EVP in name only with, you know, maybe a couple tasks, but they don't have a lot of pull that people think they do. Tony took it away. they're going to get salty and move on. I think they're going to leave. I think all three of them are going to leave the company. It's probably a good idea to bring CM Punk back. It's probably a good idea to run a wrestling promotion. And that's not to say I don't have a beef with the Elite. I don't have a beef with Young Bucks and their flippy floppies, Melter drivers, none of that. I don't care. Twinkle Toes, fucking I praised Kenny Omega's match with Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom. My God, what a match. Better than anything he's done in AEW. He was a different wrestler in New Japan. Still some Twinkle Toes stuff in there, but I don't care. I like a buffet in wrestling. I like it all. If it's good, it's good. But if they leave, like, you can't just only hire their friends. It can't go on that way and be a successful promotion. It's not to say CM Punk is the Lord and Savior of your company, but you need at least him if the Bucks and Kenny are gonna leave, and you need to, like, Punk's not gonna be the last guy that's not friends with the Bucks that's gonna come in and be a big enough star and have a big enough ego to be able to push back. Hell, Jericho could get a hair up his ass with the Bucks and decide, you know what, fuck you guys. What's Tony going to do then? He's going to sit in the corner and jerk off like a cuck because it's all he can do. It's all he can do about it. There's nothing you can do. So, welcome to the world of professional wrestling. It is what it is. But you know what? Bucks, Omega teasing that they might be leaving. Getting pissy when something happens that's not with their friends. You know what I mean? It's not sustainable long term. Let them go if they want to go. Bring back Punk. See what happens. And be a boss. You got them all under contract. Here's what we're going to do. I'm bringing you back. You're going to work with the Bucks. Shawn Michaels worked with Bret Hart. They hated each other. Many people have hated Matt Hardy and Edge. They worked with each other. Edge was banging Matt Hardy's girlfriend. You banged my girlfriend, bro. Your penis was in her mouth. And now I got to go out there and behind my back. I kissed her and she's got your dick hairs on her breath. And now I have to go out there and cooperate and make money with you. I have to do a fucking match with you. Yes! Because it's great fucking business. Because people know the behind the scenes shit and they want to know what's going to happen. That's why there's so much money to be made here. But I've ranted on it enough. What are your thoughts? Should CM Punk come back? Is he a locker room cancer? Is he not a locker room cancer? And the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are just a bunch of little sissies that don't want to play with anybody that's not their friends. What do you think's going on here? What do you think's the best play? How do you see it? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.